I honestly didn't think I'd be making another what I eat in a day on the rice diet video. I did one right at the start when I was more or less just eating rice, maybe a bit of jam or ketchup, and I genuinely thought that's basically the whole diet. It's rice. You've seen the rice. We're done here. And honestly, I even feel kind of silly making another one just because I added lentils. But you know, I get it. I understand why people want to see it, because it's not really about the food on the plate, it's about the evolution, how the body reacts and how the mindset shifts, what changes and what doesn't. And eventually I realised it's the simplicity that's actually the whole magic of this way of eating. So just to be clear, I actually finished the full 12 weeks on the rice diet a couple of weeks ago now. In the first month alone, I dropped 19 pounds, and by the end of the full 12-week stretch, the total loss was 30 pounds. And remember, the first phase was extremely low protein. I wasn't starving, I wasn't forcing it, and I wasn't battling any cravings. It was simply high carb, super low fat, and barely any protein at all. And every time I mentioned the low protein part, the reaction was instant. Isn't that unhealthy? Don't you need protein? You know, you're going to lose muscle. Because we've all been marinated in the messaging. Keto telling us protein is king. Carnivore saying that carbs are the enemy. Fitness culture saying that if you're not hitting X amounts of protein, then you'll just waste away. These phrases stick. Muscle preservation, metabolic advantage, thermal effect, and they echo in the brain like a warning alarm. But here's the thing, when the weight was coming off, and I mean really coming off, I wasn't thinking about leucine thresholds or amino acid ratios. I was thinking, finally, something is actually working. You know, when you've been stuck at a high weight for a number of years, when the belly fat finally starts shrinking, protein numbers aren't the priority. Seeing the scale go down becomes the priority. And just to make it make sense, there's real psychology behind it. A very high carb, extremely low fat diet triggers a hormone called FGF21. Think of it as the body's internal fat burning switch. And I'm still learning about it myself, so I'm not pretending to be an expert, but I picked up a lot from Dr. Michael Greger's breakdowns on FGF21. He explains it in a way that lands and helps make sense of what's going on behind the scenes. So when you're barely eating any dietary fat, the body starts pulling from stored fat. Basically, that's why my fat loss was so quick. I wasn't depriving myself, I just wasn't giving my body the external fat to burn. Now, I didn't feel the need to increase protein at the time because, honestly, I didn't feel like I needed to. I wasn't doing any heavy resistance training. I wasn't putting my muscles under recovery demanding stress. I was just walking and moving and letting my body heal. And in that context, low protein didn't feel like a problem at all. The weight was coming off, energy was stable, and the food was simple. But when I rejoined the gym and started to exercise again, everything shifted. And I had that moment of, okay, so maybe 40 grams of protein a day while weight training is probably pushing my luck a bit, because the self-doubt creeps in. What if I'm not repairing my body properly? What if I'm not recovering? What if I injure myself and undo all the progress? So that's when lentils entered the story. Not because I got bored of rice, but because rice alone wasn't enough anymore for recovery. Lentils gave me extra protein and extra minerals and supported my tissues without sabotaging the fat burning adaptation. And honestly, lentils are way more powerful than I ever gave them credit for. They're steady energy, gentle protein, and lots of micronutrients. They quietly support the body in the background, and they help me recover from workouts without dragging me out of the high carb fat burning mode. So during those 6 weeks, my diet literally became 3 foods. rice, lentils and orange juice. That's it, and it worked beautifully. Well, I mean, I still use salt and occasionally I still hit the plate with some tomato ketchup, but come on, I'm not a monk. So for anyone who wants to see how I actually make all this, I'll walk you through it while you see some clips of me preparing it in the kitchen. So the rice is really simple. I use 1 cup or 200 grams per serving, and I rinse it really well, like 2 or 3 times, just to be sure to minimise the arsenic levels. And then I put it in my Ninja Foodie and add 2 cups of filtered water and just let it do its thing. But the lentils, that's where there was maybe a bit more process. So I used 2 types, red split lentils and mung dal yellow lentils. And I had a couple of different cooking approaches depending on the day. If I'm cooking everything together in one pot, then I'll soak the lentils for a couple of hours first. I just find it cooks better. They get softer and it's much easier to digest. And honestly, I do think they need a little bit more cooking time than the white basmati rice. The other method is cooking the lentils separately. So some days I'll just dump a bag of dry lentils into my Ninja Foodie, cook them in bulk and then portion them out into containers. That way I know exactly how much lentils to add to each rice meal. So there's no guessing or eyeballing. So yeah, some days I'll do them separately. Some days I'll cook the rice and lentils together, especially if I was being lazy or I just wanted the flavours to kind of meld into one. It's nothing fancy, it just became a rhythm. Now about quantities, because I know people love specifics, I was eating about 6 cups of cooked rice daily from around 2 cups uncooked, and about 400 grams of cooked lentils. And again, that's where the nutritional confusion comes in, because lentil macros are listed as dry, not cooked. So if you track the cooked weight, the macros look lower, and suddenly people think lentils are some weird 0-calorie magic bullet. They're not, it's just hydration weight. But again, instead of obsessing over the mathematical gymnastics, I just kept the portions consistent every day. Simple and predictable beats perfect and neurotic every time. And yeah, I'm not trying to impress anyone with presentation. I mean, the finished dish, looks the way it looks. And here's something I didn't expect. This way of eating brought a weird emotional calm. When you eat the same simple foods each day, food stops being entertainment or comfort or identity, and it just becomes fuel. The mental noise around food, the decision fatigue, the internal negotiations, it just goes quiet. And the silence is peaceful in a way that I didn't expect. And even now, even though the official rice diet is technically done, I look at my cupboards and shelves and see some leftover rice and lentils, and I sometimes feel like, yeah, I might just keep going with this. Hunger on this diet wasn't that aggressive, primal hunger. It was more like, okay, I could eat. And when I ate, I got full in a clean, comfortable way. No heaviness, no gut clog, no post-meal sedation, just a steady, satisfied feeling. Now, when I first added lentils, I definitely noticed a shift. The extra protein and fibre slowed digestion down. The bathroom routine changed, if you know what I mean. It wasn't dramatic, but it wasn't the same rice rhythm that I had going. And it took about a week before everything stabilised again. Now, some people ask me why I chose lentils instead of chickpeas or black beans or other pulses. And the honest answer is, lentils are lower in fibre. For me personally, anything super high in fibre gives me gut discomfort, too much roughage, and I'll just feel bloated and sluggish and cramped. I wanted something that would support recovery, not wreck my digestion. And I'll admit this, I didn't even really know what lentils tasted like. Growing up, I didn't eat lentils at all, and I never had them in childhood. Literally never. I didn't eat them in my 20s either. I was always a meat and potatoes or pasta kind of guy, with occasional veggies like broccoli or spinach or whatever. But lentils, never. Even if you asked me in my 30s what lentils tasted like, I wouldn't have had a clue. It just wasn't part of my diet or culture of eating. So this whole experience was new to me, even in my 40s. My body has essentially gone decades without pulses, so this was all foreign territory for me. So the weight loss did slow down when I added in lentils, not because they're a problem, not because I suddenly started gaining weight, but I think it's simply because protein and fibre slow digestion and change the rhythm of things. With pure rice, digestion is ridiculously fast. Clean carbs in, FGF21 high, fat oxidation firing away. So once lentils came into the mix, everything slowed down a bit. The fat loss slowed, but recovery improved. So I had to mentally shift from rapid fat loss mode to recovery and rebuild mode. And then there's the classic noise from the outside world. You should add eggs. You should add fish. You should add chicken. Suddenly everyone's a protein expert, but almost nobody has asked me, are you getting enough carbs? And here's the thing, my results were undeniable. Weight was dropping, energy was stable, and workouts were good. You know, digestion stabilised and my body felt supported. And eventually I realised I have to trust what's happening in my own body more than I trust the commentary from others. And this part is huge. Food stopped being a hobby. It stopped being fantasy or comfort or distraction. It just became fuel, and I wasn't thinking about meals 10 hours a day. And that mental shift, that emotional detachment, honestly feels bigger than the whole weight loss itself. And that's where I'm at right now. The rice and lentils did what they needed to do. They cut the fat, grounded my appetite and simplified eating. And now I'm excited to see what the next phase of high carb, low fat looks like, because I don't think this journey is done changing yet.